Lando Norris is begging McLaren to give him preferential treatment over Oscar Piastri, who snatched pole from him in heated fashion at the Italian Grand Prix. Piastri made it clear he wasn't holding back, and Norris wants superstar treatment. Whose side will Zack Brown take? Let's find out right now. At the start of the race, Piastri pulled off an impressive move around the outside of Norris, who started on pole at Monza's second chicane to take the lead on lap 1. Norris then dropped to third after being overtaken by eventual winner Charles Leclerc at the next corner. When McLaren used the phrase papaya rules over team radio to let Piastri and Norris know they were free to race each other, Norris was asked after the race what those rules actually meant and whether Piastri's lap 1 move adhered to them. Norris then explained the meaning behind the rule, saying, "Just don't crash, that's all. And yeah, there was no contact, so he did a good job." McLaren's decision to pit Piastri and Norris for a second time, while Leclerc secured victory by sticking to a one-stop strategy, ultimately led to Piastri and Norris finishing second and third. With Norris chasing Verstappen in the title race, currently trailing the Dutch driver by 62 points with 8 races remaining, he was asked whether he would have preferred McLaren to intervene and swap the cars in the final laps. This move could have given him an extra 3 points while keeping the same number of constructors' points for the team, as their chances of catching Leclerc for the win diminished. "I mean, I would love it, but it's not up to me," Norris replied. "It's tough because obviously I think as any driver you don't want team orders. You don't want things to just be played that way, and yeah, it's a tough one. Obviously I wouldn't say we're running out of time, but time is going away slowly. I still believe that we can do it. You know the pace is obviously great. I still believe we probably had close to, if not the best car again today, so I don't know. It's not for me to decide. It's for the team. But I think we're still working together well, and we're still helping one another. And I think that's showed plenty of times this year that we're working together very well as a team, and we're performing as the best team out on the grid, and we're very happy with that. But yeah, I don't know, when you're fighting for a championship, you want every little thing, and I'm doing everything I can. The best way simply is just to win the race, and I didn't do that today because of some silly things. So, yeah, this is for the team, not for me." Monza wasn't the first time McLaren's team order strategy has come under scrutiny in 2024. Earlier in the season, at the Hungarian Grand Prix, Piastri claimed his maiden victory after Norris initially got ahead of him thanks to a smart strategy call. But Norris eventually followed the team's request to give the lead back to the Australian. Andrea Stella has stated that McLaren will review their papaya rules and the driver's actions after Lando Norris mentioned that he and Oscar Piastri nearly crashed when the Aussie challenged him on the opening lap of the Italian Grand Prix, starting from first and second on the Monza grid, with Norris on pole. Stella had warned the drivers to respect the papaya rules and to avoid viewing their teammate as a rival, emphasising that such an approach is not productive. And when asked post-race if Piastri respected those papaya rules, this is what Stella had to say. "We will have to review together with the drivers, look at the videos, understand their point of view, and then we will assess together whether they were fully compliant or no. We will take the learning, if there is any learning that we need to take, and then we will adjust the papaya rules, such that they allow us to pursue in the best possible manner both the Constructors' Championship and the Drivers' Championship. Because we have to be now in condition to acknowledge that not only the Constructors' Championship is possible. Even from a driver's point of view, with the performance we have at the moment in the car, and some of the struggles that we see with Red Bull, it is definitely possible. So if we can achieve both as a team, we need to put the team in condition and Lando in condition to pursue both championships." Sunday's results saw Piastri score 18 points to Norris's 15, as it was Leclerc, using a one-stop strategy, who ultimately claimed the win ahead of the McLaren teammates. With championship leader Max Verstappen only managing to score 8 points on a difficult weekend for McLaren, Norris was able to narrow the gap in the standings to 62 points. But the gap could have been reduced to 59 points if McLaren had swapped the drivers around. "We did not consider that," Stella said. "We considered other ways during the race to make sure that Lando had his own opportunities, but we didn't consider the swap because we were still willing to put as much pressure as possible on Leclerc." He does, however, acknowledge that it's something McLaren might consider in future races, as Norris is in the best position to challenge Verstappen for the World Championship. Both drivers are mathematically in the title fight, but Lando is obviously in the best position from a numbers point of view, he said. We are fighting Max Verstappen, so I think if we want to give support to one driver, we definitely have to pick the one that is in the best position. And also, I think Lando, as you know, he's been doing very well, like pole position in Zandvoort, pole position here. If anything with Lando, we need to adjust some little racing things which may help him, may help us capitalise on pole position like we had here in Monza. I think if we look at this first lap, while we review it together, we might see that there were a couple of things that we could have done more, slightly better. Andrea Stella quickly congratulated Ferrari on their Italian Grand Prix victory, but admitted it was a disappointing result for McLaren. He had made it clear after Zandvoort that any discussions about team orders would be handled before each race and decided on a case-by-case basis. As a result, he chose not to comment on the lap 1 overtake after hearing that Norris wasn't entirely happy when speaking to the media. Well, in terms of expectation and the impression of the drivers and the overtake itself, we will have to take a look with some calm and have a review together with them and assess the situation, Stella said. If there is any learning to take from there, we will take it for the future. Whether McLaren will reconsider their approach to team orders remains to be seen, with plenty of time for review before racing resumes in Azerbaijan following the weekend break. McLaren CEO Zack Brown shed light on the meaning of papaya rules after the Monza race reignited the discussion about whether team orders are necessary at McLaren. Speaking to Sky Sports F1 after the race, he explained, "It was aggressive. It was an aggressive move by Piastri. Their start was great, and that was what we had discussed. Kind of get behind the other and fan out to make sure nobody else could get by. I think Lando was probably caught by surprise with that move, thinking, let's just tuck into a 1-2 and see if we can pull a bit of a gap, so it's something we'll discuss internally. Papaya rules are it's your teammate. Race him hard, race him clean, don't touch. That happened. It was an aggressive pass, so that's a conversation we'll have. That was a bit nerve-wracking on pit wall, but it's really just respect your teammate. Lando got a bad run out of that corner as well, so it would have been nice to see them run 1-2 a bit longer. They didn't touch. It was an aggressive pass, but a clean pass. McLaren has now closed Red Bull's lead in the Constructors' Championship to just 8 points, but Ferrari's win at Monza has also brought them back into contention, which Brown described as exciting with 8 races left in the season. Yet he stood by his stance that McLaren doesn't prioritise one driver over the other. They are both young drivers who want to win. We have always believed in having 2 number ones. That's always been McLaren's way. It can be difficult to manage. We've seen it with Senna and Prost. They get along great. They do race each other clean, and it's philosophical. Are you a 1-car team or a 2-car team? The easiest thing would have been for Lando to just run away with it and then not have to put difficult decisions on pit wall. But Andrea Stella and I are taking it one race at a time. If you were Zack Brown, would you give Lando Norris special treatment, or will you make him earn it? Tell us what you would do in the comments section down below. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Thanks for watching.